Veterans Voices is sponsored by Palmetto State Armory.
And welcome to Veterans Voices, WSAV's salute to the men and women who have served our country. I'm Ben Singer.
And I'm Tina Shaw. We began with a disturbing statistic. 23% of our military service members are diagnosed with a post-traumatic stress disorder.
That is why a Hinesville veteran has created a safe space for other veterans and those who are active duty. As WSAV's Sarah Smith shows us, the goal is to help them relax and heal their minds.
The feeling can be described as being weightless.
When you lift your arm out of the water, you don't feel like you're lifting your arm out of the water. It's the same temperature, so you really feel like you're floating in nothing.
The tank, as Stephen Dixon calls it, can make you feel drunk on relaxation.
Once you get out of the float, soaking in 1,500 pounds of salt, your muscles are butter, you're very relaxed. So.
He says it's therapeutic not only for the body but the mind, which was the main attraction for Stephen, the owner of the Healing Lounge at Get Tanked in Hinesville. He says the first time he stepped in a tank was about 5 years ago when he was transitioning out of the Georgia Army National Guard.
I had a very rough time, kind of settling back in civilian life.
Dixon tells me the military was his life for 6 years. He joined when he was just 17 years old, and he says when he deployed to northern Afghanistan in 2018, it changed him.
Once I returned from my deployment, I had about 2.5 years, and the last 2 years, showing up there wasn't a problem. Putting on uniform, getting back into work, essentially, wasn't too bad, but on this side of civilian side of things, I was having a hard time working, going out, doing anything.
He says post-traumatic stress and anxiety weighed heavy on him.
The worst part, I would say, is how alert I was. I was always expecting something to happen, something bad to go down.
At the time, Stephen says he didn't recognize himself.
There was just a couple bad instances where I was like, something's got to change, something's got to give, because I'm heading down a road that I don't like going down, and I wasn't me. I knew I wasn't me.
He says, in a way, the tank saved his life.
It was the first time I was able to breathe through the anxiety.
Now he's hoping to offer this healing experience and a number of other services to the community, even giving back to his fellow service members. Fort Stewart's Soldier Recovery Unit receives a free float each month. Dixon says the connections he's made with customers has warmed his heart.
They just start crying. You know, you can tell they left something back there that, you know, had been holding them down.
Stephen's mother, Bobby, works alongside him, and she tells me she's never been prouder of her son.
It was a journey, it really was, and a very scary journey from our perspective, that he's accomplished what he has and come to the other side has been amazing.
Not only serving his country, but his community too. Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Veterans are also finding healing in the heart of the Lowcountry.
Our Patty Turner takes us on a tour of the place that is giving them peace and purpose.
Today I'm taking you on a very special tour of a local place where our veterans, active duty military, first responders, and their families can find camaraderie, support, and lots of fun.
All right, Patty, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's the Operation Patriot's Forward Operating Base, or FOB, in Ridgeland, South Carolina. And our tour guide is Brett Hatter, the Director of Operations.
I like to start here because it gives you a good idea of what you're going to experience when you get out here to OpFob. 268 acres that is dedicated to active duty military, veterans, first responders, and their family members. This is a place to do what we call RTB, return to base. You come out here, you find like-minded individuals, your tribe, your community, your people, and we offer just the conduit. That's what we are, to bring those folks together. Of all the amenities and everything that we can do out here, the most important thing that happens here is getting those individuals together, talking, and supporting one another.
Operation Patriots FOB is a nonprofit that was started by husband and wife team JR and Stephanie Brown almost 5 years ago. JR is a veteran who was struggling with PTSD and wanted to help his brothers and sisters in arms find a place to heal. Brett is also a veteran, a Marine.
As we go throughout the property, you'll see a lot of different memorializations. Some of the roads are named, some of our facilities are named, ponds, and that's just going to continue to expand as we continue to develop this property.
What was this property used for before this?
So before this, it was owned by the Malfrises. It was a Malfris plantation, and it was a hunting property. It was actually about 1,000 acres, and it's since been split up a little bit. We own 268 acres of it. That cottage right there is actually over 100 years old. It's an awesome facility. It'll sleep. It's got 2 bedrooms with a pull-out couch, so it'll sleep six to 8.
Nice.
We have the bunkhouse just behind it, and what we call the fish camp, which is our private hunting cabin, if you will, on a pond. Each one of these lodgings is available for our members to come out and stay in, no cost whatsoever.
Brett, what is this place meant for you?
For me, so I first came out here about 4 years ago when OpFob was only a year old, and the first time I rolled through those gates, there's an ether about this place. You feel like you're coming to someplace special. A lot of people describe it as, I feel like I'm coming home. I was immediately taken back, and I thought of the brothers that I've lost to the most unfortunate circumstance, to suicide, that in my mind would still be here if they had a place like this, could possibly still be here. So that's what it means to me. It's a bastion, it's a foundation, it's a place that you can rely on, come to find yourself, refocus, recenter, and then get back on the path.
Your home.
Absolutely.
A home that has already helped thousands of veterans, active duty, first responders, and their families from all over the country.
This is our bunkhouse. This used to be just a pole barn, and we converted it into a domicile that will sleep comfortably 12 individuals. So 12 folks can get together, fire pit, fully furnished. You want for nothing in there. It's very, very nice. It's got a loft with 9 beds. It's got a master bedroom with a queen-size bed and some bunk beds. And then this is the cottage that I was telling you about.
Well, you mentioned members. Do you join? Okay.
You do, yeah. You come out, you join. There's no cost to join, but we do ask that you make a face-to-face. You go on our website, www.opfob.org, and then you can either join as what we call a warrior, which is active duty veteran, first responder. You can join as a spouse, or you can join as a volunteer/donor.
And one of the most popular member activities, Brett says, is right here. It's called the Clay Crusher Concourse.
We shoot several different types of sporting clay games here, or matches. 5-stand is the most typical, but we actually have 8 shooting positions, and even if you're wheelchair bound, you can use this. We've got the wide ramp, and then certain stands, the railing actually lifts up and out, so a wheelchair bound individual can still raise a shotgun over the railing.
You thought of everything.
So the purpose of OpFob, our mission, very frankly, is to end veteran and first responder suicide. Like, bottom line. We do that through peer engagement and outdoor recreational activities. We foster that camaraderie, that community, that tribe. We are just the place for that to grow and to build itself. Really, once we opened the gates here, it did not take long for people to find out. We are growing at the rapid rate. The demand for this asset is enormous. We estimate that there are between 150,000 veterans alone between Charleston and Savannah, and we're nestled right in the middle of that.
Perfect location.
Absolutely it is, absolutely. And the demand it keeps growing. First responders have been a part of this for a few years now. We realize that they need these resources. So whether you serve your community or you serve your nation, we honor those individuals, and we want to be able to be that source of healing, and rest and just recovery. No matter what it is they're dealing with, whether it's just the everyday stressors of life, PTSD, loneliness. We ask the least and understand the most. We're not in white jackets. We're not doing anything clinical out here. It's, hey, I've gone through something similar. Let's talk about it.
And that's the mission of Operation Patriots FOB, to offer that place to relax, to open up, talk, to enjoy life, and find that new path forward.
All right, Brett, thank you so much for the tour. This was incredible.
Thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure taking you around.
And thank you for your service.
Appreciate it very much. Very much. Thank you for what you're doing for us.
And Operation Patriots FOB needs your help. Just scan the QR code on your screen to join the Save 22 Club. The $22 monthly donation will provide life-saving support for veterans, active duty military members, first responders, and their families. It will also help with maintenance of the 268 acres that are used for those recreational activities.
Coming up on Veterans Voices, an unusual weapon during World War II, the story behind the combat con artists known as the Ghost Army.
Welcome back to Veterans Voices. During World War II, a group of American soldiers fought the enemy in a very unusual way.
Known as the Ghost Army, this special unit used inflatable tanks, sound effects, and deception to trick German forces. Their work saved countless lives and stayed classified for decades.
Now, their story is being told.
It sounds like something that belongs on the set of a movie.
Their mission was deception, and to carry it out, they used inflatable tanks and sound effects and illusion, impersonation, right on the battlefields of Europe.
Everything they did was to deceive the enemy while giving actual units time to move around.
Tanks crossing a small bridge.
They're known as the Ghost Army, a unit with about 1,100 soldiers that conducted 22 different deception missions, starting right after D-Day until the end of the war.
Deception is a great military tool. If you can fool the enemy about your intentions, about your location, if you can manipulate them to do what you want them to do, it's to your advantage. It can create surprise and help you out. So the Ghost Army, their mission was to impersonate other much larger American units.
These combat con artists had one goal: to save lives. But they did this with a bit of creativity.
So they had inflatable tanks and trucks and artillery and jeeps and inflatable spotter planes and anything. So they could set up a huge, presentation, if you will, on the battlefield.
They used sound deception.
They had sound trucks. These were half tracks with 500-pound speakers mounted on top that could play sounds that could go as far as 15 miles.
Radio deception.
So the enemy's listening in on the radio, and so you're sending phony radio messages and tying in with real radio networks.
And even special effects.
That involved physically impersonating the units that they're pretending to be. So they're going to put on phony shoulder patches to make it seem like they're in the 75th Infantry Division, let's say. They're going to set up fake headquarters, and they're going to have one of the guys be a fake general. I mean, I know it sounds made up, but this really happened and happened multiple times.
It sounds somewhat whimsical, but there were very real consequences.
And if you're going to understand the Ghost Army story, you want to enjoy the Hollywood aspects of it, the make-believe, the pretend, but you want to sober up pretty quickly to realize that there are people who are buried in cemeteries in Europe and in the United States who gave their lives to carry out this mission.
Rick Beyer runs the Ghost Army Legacy Project. His mission is to tell their stories.
It was all kept secret for 50 years or so after the war. This was a secret, and I got to tell you, there's still a lot of people who don't know very much about it at all.
These soldiers trained right here in Tennessee at Camp Forest. Today, there are just 3 living members of the Ghost Army left, and this year they were finally honored at the Capitol, 75 years after they served. Although it's impossible to know exactly how many lives these men saved, their impact is clear.
There have been estimates that maybe 15 to 30,000 lives, and there's no way to know, right? Is that accurate? I met a guy once who was a tanker under Patton, and he had never heard of this unit. I said, I think this unit might have saved my life. And because he'd been in one of the places where they operated. And that to me was really meaningful, because you can talk numbers and say thousands here, thousands there. But here was one guy, and he was showing me pictures of his children and grandchildren and saying, well, maybe they wouldn't even have been born if it hadn't been for this unit.
Stay right there. We are hearing from the woman who will lead Savannah's Veterans Day Parade. Get to know this Navy veteran after the break. Welcome back. Savannah's Veterans Day Parade is paying special tribute this year to the women who have served our country.
For Grand Marshal Faye Prescott, leading the celebration is an honor. More now from WSAV's Nakia Harris.
I'm just awestruck. I can't believe this is actually happening to me.
For Faye Prescott, the call to serve is what drives her and what led her to being named the 2025 Grand Marshal for the Savannah Veterans Day Parade. A Savannah native, she served 8 years in the Navy, joining shortly after high school.
Joining the Navy was one of the greatest things that happened to me because it helped me start my journey of becoming independent, being able to take care of myself.
Prescott is a wife, mother of 6, and a lifeline for more than 500 families through her organization, My Veterans Place Savannah Incorporated, since 2021. Her nonprofit provides food, housing, and mental health support for active duty members, veterans, and their families.
We do an array of things, helping with housing assistance, helping veterans get permanent housing.
Prescott says her own experience makes her service personal.
I was in every role there is in the military family. So when I talk to my families and I talk to my clients, I tell them, I know how you feel. I do.
She's also an advocate for women in the military, standing strong behind organizations that uplift and support them. The 2025 Grand Marshal Faye Prescott will be the woman leading the parade this year. Her purpose, she says, is simple: to serve others.
I will be thinking about all of the women that fought to get the positions and the promotions that they wanted to get. I'll be thinking about all of the women that gave up and got out. But I just want to let them know that regardless of where, when, and why, great things still can happen.
Nakia Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
If you've gone to a Savannah Ghost Pirates game, you've probably seen Mike Hernandez. Coming up, how this veteran became the face of the team's fan base. He's the Lord of the Arena at Savannah Ghost Pirate games. But off the ice, Iraq War veteran Mike Hernandez is all about service and community.
Mike shared his story and love for local sports with WSAV's Kaylee Fedko.
From American Warrior to Lord of the Arena, meet Mike Hernandez, the Savannah Ghost Pirates' biggest fan and Iraq War veteran. You may recognize Hernandez from the Ghost Pirates games, decked out in green and black galore, and his signature bling.
I make the trek every game.
Before Mike was running End Market Arena, he was living a life of service. Born and raised in New York City, Hernandez enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in 2002 after 9/11.
I actually watched the towers fall from, I was working in the South Bronx at the time, and I watched the towers fall all the way across the water. So it was a day that forever changed me.
And Hernandez was off to Iraq, serving as a cannoneer and border patrolman. He served for 8 years before settling down in Paris Island with his family after being stationed there.
Nice house and a big open yard, and we enjoyed the proximity to the beach and staying away from all the hustle and bustle of the city.
Enter the Savannah Ghost Pirates, the Coastal Empire and Low Country's professional hockey team established in 2022.
Davies fires a shot. He scores!
Hernandez, being a hockey fan since the 1990s, found a new passion.
Finding out that a local team was coming to Savannah was amazing, and I jumped on board as soon as I found out about it. Got season tickets, and thinking this is year 4. I think I've only missed probably about 5 games.
Donning the name Lord of the Arena, he rules End Market Arena as the Ghost Pirates' biggest cheerleader and even travels to games as far as Texas, bringing joy to both fans and players. He's even met several veterans at the games and has created a network.
There's a lot that attend the games. A lot of Army guys attend. I'm happy to meet everybody who comes out and ask questions. And as always, I'm an open book when it comes to anybody who wants to learn about the game of hockey.
Serving our country and serving up sportsmanlike joy, Mike Hernandez has solidified himself as a Savannah icon. Kaylee Fedko, WSAV News 3, on your side.
We want to thank you for joining us as we honor our veterans. I'm Tina Tyus-Shaw.
And I'm Ben Singer. From all of us here at WSAV, thank you for your service to our country.